right. I was ready for some magic. All right. Tonight you're probably expecting something a little bit different tonight, as I'm going to teach you some magic tricks, but I'm going to teach you the real secret behind being a real magician. When I was 7 years old, I saw my first magic trick, and I was being prepared for my baptism, and the elders would come by once a week, and they would tell a lesson, and at the end of each lesson, they'd have M&Ms and a magic trick. Now, I was excited to see the magic. I was excited to get baptized, but I was more excited to see the magic. M&Ms. And the trick that I remember most is the broom trick. And I'm not going to go into details, but I asked them to teach me how to do it. And they wouldn't, and I begged and I pleaded. Finally, they did. I don't know how I convinced them, but they taught me how to do it, and that was the beginning of a very illustrious career for me. And later on, when I found out that people would actually pay you to make them look like idiots and fool them, and I thought that was the greatest thing that could possibly happen to me. So my dad picked my stage name, and if I have one piece of advice for you, if you do become a magician, is don't let your dad pick your stage name. Or better yet, don't let my dad pick your stage name. There's a lot of things I learned from being a magician. One of them is that in magic, the skill that you have and that you perform is not as important as how you perform it and the showmanship that's involved. There's a lot of really poor magicians out there. And David Blaine is one of them, who's not a very good magician, but he's an excellent showman and an excellent presenter. And that's why he is so successful as a magician. And there's some, and you know, in magic, you are an actor, and the audience is the audience, and you are actually performing and acting, and magic is just kind of an addition to the performance. And that's what I learned, is to be a really good presenter is more important than skill. You're going to fail a lot as a magician, and I made a lot of mistakes when I first started, and I dropped cards, and kids would run up and pull my pants down, and there'd be balls rolling out of my sleeve, and it was really horrible. But I learned that if I prepare for failure, if I'm able to prepare myself to fail, then I can even make failures look like they were planned. And I told myself when I failed as a magician, instead of asking myself, why did this happen to me, I would say, what can I learn from this, and how can this make me a better person? When I was a kid, and I'm sure you guys can relate to this, when you see a spider or something, your parents would say, "Oh, don't worry, don't be scared of that spider, because they're more scared of you than you are of them." As if an angry, scared spider is somehow less troublesome than a nice, friendly spider. And I learned that with people, that's not true. People are not scared of you. In fact, you are more scared of them by 100-fold than they will ever be of you. And I was very, very scared to approach people when I was first being a magician. But I practiced a lot, and I got to the point where I could perform magic with enough confidence that I didn't have any fear. And I had a lot of fun doing it. And I noticed that fear is the principle of inaction. And it's because of fear that people don't do what they really want to do. And my advice to you is just do it, because you will find much success in that. Most people are not born being a great magician or a great orator or a great communicator, businessman. There's a lot of practice that goes into it and a lot of intense focus on what you love to do. And as a magician, I had to practice tricks over and over and over again for months at a time. And I had to work on the angles and perfect it to the point where I could do it without thinking. And that took a lot of patience. And one thing that I learned about being successful is that even during those failures and the patience that it takes and the time that it takes to get to that point of perfection and being an expert at something, that I never gave up. And that's the advice that I have for you, is to never, never give up on what you believe in. Because if you do, or if you don't, then you will find success in life. I became what you would consider a master at magic and an expert. And I would advise that everyone become an expert in something. An expert in whatever it is that you love, because you will find more confidence in your life, you will be more fulfilled, and you will see that your life becomes a lot better. And that is how you become a professional magician. Thank you.
We're available for parties and